Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of The Legend of the Traveling Tardis with our special guest, Ian McNeice.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you very much. That's great.
Here we go.
My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend.
And for those of you just joining us, welcome, fellow Whovians. Thank you for joining us here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And thank you, Simon, for the wonderful introduction. My name is Christian Basil, and we have a wonderful guest on tonight with all of our panelists. Let me go ahead and introduce our panel today. Starting at the bottom, right here, Miss Melanie Dean. How you doing? Over on Instagram, Pieces of Melee. And you've got something special going on for those of you who are watching us live. You want to tell the folks a little bit about what you're doing after the show?
After the show at 7 p.m., you can join me and Jessica Womack from Swan Song Cosplay, another panelist. And we're going to be doing a Thanksgiving special, just doing different geek, little fun Thanksgiving sides, meals, pies, all the little baking goodness from our friends over at Fan Expo. So if you're used to going to MegaCon Orlando, that's the people who are bringing this on. If you want to go, again, 7 p.m. after the show concludes, it's go to Fan Expo or go to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You can see the page there. Remember, you have to sign up for it so that you can get a fresh link to it, so that you can see it later on. It's not live stream like this show. So check it out. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Speaking of things, I don't know what Dave's doing, but he's writing something.
I'm writing down so I don't miss the show.
Gotcha.
I want to watch it. I want to watch this.
I have stuff in the oven right now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. God, you're making me hungry. We haven't had dinner. For those of you who are just joining us live, I haven't had dinner yet. It's almost like 6:00 p.m. here in Florida. So I'm just like, when you were talking about it to Heather Butter, who runs the show, I was just like, gosh, she's making me hungry. I can only wait to see what you got over there. But yeah, after this show, immediately go to the Fan Expo site and check out Melanie and Jessica and our friend Heather, who's going to be hosting everything for a special Thanksgiving geekdom.
Yes.
Oh, can't wait there. Speaking of geekdom and Thanksgiving, because the segues are just going to get better than this. This is Dave from the RatHole.ca.
Hello. Greetings from the Great White North, where we had Thanksgiving a month ago.
Exactly.
Now I got to know, because I'm just stupid. What do you guys celebrate on your Thanksgiving? How did that come to be? How did that come to pass?
It's similar. It's all the turkey, less all the genocide. Basically, it's a harvest.
Fair enough.
Okay. We're close enough that we've got the turkeys. All the traditions that have come from the U.S. Have basically moved north, as a lot of pop culture stuff did, as pop culture was a thing in the 18th century or whatever. But yeah, no, it's basically just the same idea, but no pilgrims, no any of that.
Conquering lands.
Yeah. Not that we don't have our own issues with our relationship with our First Nations up here, but that's less of a thing specifically on Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. It's currently full of snow, which is also why it's a month earlier than you.
Where are you?
I'm in Alberta, Canada.
Oh, Canada. Okay,
so,
cool.
Western Canada, yeah.
Blame Canada. Anyway, speaking of Blame Canada, here's Simon. Thank you so much for the intro, Simon. How are you doing? Oh, I'm just trained.
Well, I'm ticklety-boo as always, but today I had to pop down to a doctor's surgery, and on the way, I spotted a couple of nuns jumping up and down on a trampoline. They look like demented ninja penguins. It was hysterical. And then when I came, then when I came out the surgery, a kangaroo had jumped on the bonnet of my car. So that's how my day started.
Goodness me, Simon.
Did a kangaroo actually jump on your car?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What rogue kangaroo is running around the UK?
Where I live, it's a very strange part of the UK. That's all.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Simon, we have to tell everybody, what day is it tomorrow, Simon? What's special about tomorrow?
Well, it's my 59th birthday.
Oh, congratulations!
I'm a saggy hairy ass unless you take account of the new zodiac signs, in which case I'm a Scorpio. But we ignore that because I can't pronounce the new sign. Can anybody pronounce the new sign?
I can't.
No.
I don't even remember what it is.
I know it begins with an O.
Yeah.
But just for everyone with the time zone, what time does tomorrow start? In about how long for you?
Oh, for me and Ian, the tomorrow starts in 50 minutes time. It is now
right.
10. Yeah. It's now 10:11 in the evening.
So around when we have our after show. Interesting.
Yes.
So we should have like a New Year's. We should count down.
Yes.
Oh, it's his birthday!
And you were talking about nuns on a trampoline. All I could think about is, didn't Eric Idle and Robbie Coltrane make a movie about that? Nuns on a trampoline or something like that?
Yes, they did. You're absolutely right.
Nuns on the Run. Okay, Nuns on the Run.
Nuns on the Run.
There was a flying nun show eons ago, I remember.
With
Whoopi Goldberg.
Sally Field, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I remember a song about Sister Josephine. Yeah. I'm trying to remember who wrote it.
I can't either. But in the meantime, let's welcome our special guest.
Yes.
It's Ian McNeice.
Yeah, thank you. I thought it would never come. Hello, everybody.
You may have seen Ian in Doctor Who. You may have seen Ian in Doc Martin, which I'm just catching up out there. You may have seen Ian in Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, Dune, and one of the movies I actually appreciate that I don't see much, The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill but Came Down a Mountain. I love that.
Oh, goodness me, yes, with Hugh Grant.
Yes. With Hugh Grant, yeah. And that was just it's one of those nice movies that I think it's just underappreciated. I like to see it that way. But Ian, how are you doing today? And thank you for coming on.
That's great, thank you. We just had a 25-year-old reunion of The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill. We went back to the village where it was made with all with quite a lot of the villagers who appeared in the movie, and they had a special screening, and everybody was there. It was a lovely time, and quite a few of the actors came along, and the director was there from America. In fact, I was at school with him. I mean, the man is called Christopher Munger, who wrote The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill, Came Down a Mountain, and we met each other when we were 16. So that was a huge deal that he actually wrote it for me, which was lovely. So fantastic.
Wow. I just got to ask, first off the bat, were you a Whovian before you got your role as Winston Churchill in Doctor Who? I was just curious about that. And how big Whovian were you?
Would you say that again? I'm sorry.
Sure. Were you a Whovian? Were you a fan of Doctor Who before?
Oh, yes. In fact, everybody asked me, who's your favorite Doctor? And I said, well, of course, it's Tom Baker. That's who I grew up with.
Right.
I used to watch Tom Baker myself. So that was, and it was a treat. Some years ago, I did a book, an audio book with him, big Finish book that we did. And normally you do this in London, right? But this time we had to go out of London to about 2 hours on the train to somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And I remember going to this little studio there and thinking to myself, why have we come all the way down here? And it wasn't until coming through the door just before we started, still in his pajamas, was Tom Baker, because he only lived down the road. And so he said, well, yes, I'll do these, but you've got to make it close for me. So they found a little studio, and that's where he did them. He just came in, and he literally was in his pajamas still doing the show. It was hysterical.
My goodness, there. So you've been acting for quite some time. You've been acting
many years now. Well, I've just I've got my bus pass now. I've just reached 70, which is a little difficult in England because you can't get insurance anymore. We just found that out the other day because of the government. So we're hoping to try and fight that somehow. But a lot of us over 70 are now looking for work but can't get insured. So we're all on a scrap heap over here in Britain, I'm afraid.
And I'll pose this question for both you and Simon. Gentlemen, you are on the second lockdown as we speak. But for those of you listening live here, the UK went on the second lockdown. How has that affected you, and how are you coping with it? How are you getting through this time?
You take that one, Simon.
My lifestyle generally, me and Tony, we live an isolated lifestyle anyway. I'm in my office here most of the time, and Tony's in his music room. But we would occasionally say, "Oh, do you fancy going to the beach? Do you fancy going to visit somebody in Wales or something like that?" And that's the main thing that we can't do. And also the other main thing we can't do, we can't invite people to come and visit us, and we can't go and visit them. I haven't physically been in the same room as my mother and my brother since January, because I was due to visit, because they live in Bournemouth, I live in the Midlands, and I was due to visit them at Easter. And of course, that was right in the middle of the first lockdown. Fortunately, things like this are good. I can speak to my mother. We use Facebook video, so I see her, but it's not the same as actually being with her. And on a professional basis, and also on a friendship basis, the sci-fi circuit is a very amiable and lovely experience, and we'd have absolutely hysterical times having dinners, and Ian and I in particular, we would enjoy a curry somewhere, wherever we visited, and I do miss that terribly. But I try and keep myself busy and avoid the kangaroos.
Apparently, didn't do that very well.
Away from your car there. I just and it's been different here in Florida as well. Halloween night. I was actually expecting at least the kids around the neighborhood to come by and do trick-or-treating. I think we got one knock on the door. So we've got plenty of candy to go around at our house right now, and we're trying to keep away from it because you just that temptation's there. But now we're moving into Thanksgiving. If you're listening to us live or watching us live, I should say, we're going to be having Thanksgiving in 2 days. And that's been something that I was talking with my mother, I was talking with my wife, I was talking with everybody, and I was trying to see how people are doing things differently for Thanksgiving. I mean, are we going to be wearing masks? Are the foods going to be covered? How many people are going to have? And we've decided we're going to have a very, very small, at best, 10 people who we know have been isolated for a long time. And that's all we're going to do. A very small dinner, and we're going to try to do our best to, keep ourselves healthy. Try to stay.
Excuse me, when you say small dinner, 10 people, how many people do you normally have for Thanksgiving? For goodness' sake,
my mother's Filipino.
Oh, okay, all right. So the whole of the street comes in, right?
And if you don't know about a Filipino, that those parties could be between 30 and 50.
Goodness me,
about maybe at best, 20, and they're all over the place, and there's always plenty of food. There's always
terrific. That's lovely.
Exactly. You have, and with a Filipino Thanksgiving, there's turkey, mashed potato and gravy, and there's lumpia and pancit right next to it. So it's a nice little ethnic thing. But I mean, it is totally completely a different style. But one of the things from what I understand, the Filipino etiquette is that nobody goes home hungry and nobody goes home empty-handed. So there's always more than enough food than it should be, or else it's considered rude. So but we decided we were going to have people who we know that have been inside, and people who, we're going to try to take care of each other, and we're trying to get to some kind of normal. That's why we're not having the big party, but we're still going to have some kind of Thanksgiving dinner there.
I mean, that's what we have over here. What we've had in recent weeks is the media sort of saying things like Christmas is cancelled and things like that. Yeah. Whereas, no, I mean, we just all have to accept that it's going to have to be an alternative Christmas.
Exactly there.
And after all, during the Second World War, my grandparents, there was not only was it difficult to have a proper Christmas, but there was lack of food as well. I mean, at the moment, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the moment, especially in the UK, I wouldn't say there's a lack of food. There are some people who probably need to go to food banks.
Right.
But I mean, me and Tony, we can pop down to our supermarket anytime, as long as we wear our masks and we sanitize when we go in. And it's not very difficult. The masks can get a bit smelly. You just got to remember to wash them every now and then. It's so in that sense, and treat it as an alternative, because in a couple of years' time, people will be looking back at 2020, and it will be referred to, like people before us have said, it's not like it was during the war. We will be saying, oh, it's not like it was during 2020.
Exactly. And 2016 was 2016 was the year that everybody, if we get past this year, we'll be fine. And now 2020 is going like, hold my beer. I got something for you. Speaking of hold my beer, we're going to a commercial break. When we return, we're going to continue our discussions with actor Ian McNeice. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend.
Jackie Sonnenberg's My Soul to Keep is a ghost story rooted in the realities of actual cults. When 13-year-old Sky Monroe arrives at her new boarding school, all she can think about is death and connecting with the afterlife. Soon she discovers her school's spirituality group, the Guardians of Light, and they have a secret. They can speak with the dead, and the organization is a cult. But this isn't Sky's only problem. The campus house where Sky resides is haunted, and even the ghosts have an agenda. They intend on getting the souls they want. Filled with mystery and intrigue plucked straight from the headlines, author Jackie Sonnenberg's research and attention to detail give this ghost story an even more eerie atmosphere. Find My Soul to Keep on Amazon.com today.
Bateman.
What's the Bateman?
A novel set in Florida, written by Florida author D.L. Havlin. Suspense, mystery, and murder.
Evidence is in the bait.
The Bateman is available at local bookstores and online.
Deborah Parmley's Jenna's Christmas Wish.
Santa, if there's one thing I want for Christmas more than anything, it's someone to spend Christmas with. Someone who really wants me to be there.
Head to the mountains of East Tennessee with romance author Jenna Hart for a Christmas writer's workshop. Since her mother passed after a long illness, Jenna has had one wish. She doesn't want to spend Christmas alone. Meeting Niccolo Maldini, cover model and actor, could make more than Jenna's Christmas wish come true. Unless Ember, Niccolo's ex-girlfriend, does something crazy to stop them from being together. It's a mountain Christmas romance you won't want to miss in Deborah Parmley's Jenna's Christmas Wish. Now on Amazon.com.
If you're watching us live on the YouTube channel or the Facebook channel or even on Twitch TV, where we are now, don't thank us. Thank our friends at GeekInsider.com. Please subscribe to GeekInsider.com. Our friends out here who make this happen so you can watch us live.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling Tardis. My name is Christian Basil. I'm here with the lovely Melanie Boone. I'm here with the lovely Simon Fisher-Becker. I'm here with the lovely Dave Chapman from the rathole.ca, and with our special guest today, Ian McNeice. Ian, thank you again for joining us today, and we're having some interesting stories as we approach the holiday season. Ian.
As we all learn where we are in our little Hollywood square.
There.
Top center.
Ellen and I are on here enough that we've gotten used to the whole do it backwards thing.
All the sides. Hi, hello.
There. Ian, when you started acting, when did the acting bug finally hit you? When did you say that this is going to be my future from now on?
I was very young. I was at school. I was very fortunate in the fact that I went to a school that did a lot of drama. Quite frankly, because I was terrible at examinations, and so or sports. So goodness me, I actually found something that I could do, and I was a little boy when I first started. So I did this play where I was a little Roman soldier, and I'd actually been to America, so I had an American accent when I came to the school, because you pick it up very quickly when I went over to America, because my dad worked for Eli Lilly. He was a drug in the drug industry at the time, and when we came back, I had this big American accent, and I just had one line in this play. I was a little Roman soldier, and I was standing there, and all the other Roman soldiers went away, and I was just left because I was sleeping on the bed. And I woke up and I said, "Gee, Buster, which way did they go?" I did go down the house and laughed. It was a drug that got me going. That was it, and I didn't stop from that moment onwards.
I feel you, because when I went to high school, I think every play, all except one, I always had was the minor character who had that one or two lines, and that was it. That's all that I was. I was the only thing that I had going for me was the very first play I did was Diary of Anne Frank.
Oh yes,
and
terrific.
I was Jan Dussel, who's the guy who comes in later on to hide, and I just asked my teacher nonchalantly. I said, "Why did you bring me in? What was it? My reading? Was it?" And she goes, "No, you look Jewish." I'm just like,
well, there you go.
And I said,
I did that.
I don't know how
I played the father. I played the father at drama school. I remember that. I loved that play. It was a great play.
I was always the king or god for some particular reason.
That's not bad. I tell you, either of those will go down well.
I was either working follow spot or on the fly rail because I wasn't afraid of heights.
I did follow spot.
That was me.
My first big tech jobs was doing follow spot, and it was in a production of Fiddler on the Roof where the spotlight was also God.
Yes.
I couldn't just...
Absolutely. That's great. No, love that.
So you get the role for as Winston Churchill in Doctor Who. Tell us a little bit about that, and how did you feel?
Well, I was doing what was interesting is that I was playing Winston Churchill in the theatre, the National Theatre in Britain. I was doing a play called Never So Good, which was about Harold Macmillan, played by Jeremy Irons at the time. We were doing the play, and I was playing Winston Churchill. And who came along to the play with a casting director of Doctor Who, because they were looking for someone to play Winston Churchill. They'd written this script, and that's how I got the job. It was as simple as that, and because they saw me on playing it on the stage, and so I went down to Cardiff, and that's how it all began. And of course, things are very different doing it. I'm doing it on the stage. It's quite a big performance. You've got to be quite big to reach an auditorium with 1,000 people in it. So you've got to bring it right down when you do it, in front of the cameras and stuff like that. But it was a real treat to revisit him again, quite frankly.
Keeping preoccupied with the lockdown, what have you been doing? What do you like to do, like as a hobby? Do you paint? What other things do you do besides acting?
I've been doing a lot of Zoom and stuff like that, which has been fun. And people like your good self have come and done interviews and stuff like that. And Cameo, which is extraordinary. This little thing we have over here, I think you have it in America too, which is people, get in touch with you and say, "Can you say happy birthday to, or Merry Christmas or something like to my son or my daughter or my mother or something like that." And because of Doc Martin that I play, there are so many ladies of a certain age who are in love with Bert, mainly mothers and grandmothers and people like that who want a little good wish for me. So I've done like sort of hundreds of these now, and that keeps me going.
Wow.
I can do 2 or 3 a day, something like that, and Simon does them too.
Not as many as Ian, of course.
Oh, come on now.
No, but I had my fair share, so I can't complain. So anybody can contact us via Cameo, and especially with Christmas coming up, as well as anybody who's got a birthday.
You sell it, Simon. That's great. Yeah. I love that. Like crazy. Yes. Cameo.com. That's where you come in today, please.
Just for those folks, and I'm giving these gentlemen a good plug because they've been kind enough to be on the show today. Cameo.com. If you want them to, you can purchase a package for one of these gentlemen to.
Very reasonable. And of course, Simon is a lot more expensive than I am. So come to
But he's totally worth it. At least he's got a buck there. We have a question from our friend James Enstall, who's actually one of our panelists, and he's also from geek2meradio.com. What do you think of Lithgow's performance of Churchill in The Crown?
I thought it was fantastic. I mean, I thought he did a really good job. I mean, I'm a big fan of John Lithgow ever since Dexter, quite frankly, because he scared the pants off me in Dexter. He was just fantastic. And I thought, well, how is he going to do Winston Churchill? So I was very sniffy about it to begin with, thinking, why didn't they get me? I should have been doing this on The Crown. They should have had me. Come on. But actually, once I saw what he was doing with it, I thought he was wonderful. I thought he handled it beautifully. And I thought he got the essence of the man. No, I took my hat up to him. Good old John Lithgow.
When I first heard that he was going to be with Churchill, I just thought the height difference, because Lithgow is like, I think 6'4", he's a very tall gentleman.
Yeah, no, he is, and I think they cope with that very well. I think they filmed it, putting people on boxes and stuff like that against him and things like that to help it out. And then he stooped, I think, which helped it a lot too. But no, I was very impressed with him. We've just I don't know whether you have it in America now, but Netflix have just released the fourth Crown. Have you got that too now?
I'm not up to it just yet.
Yeah, no, I've started it, and it's terrific. I mean, I'm a huge fan of The Crown.
Well,
it should be emphasized, though, that it is a drama and not a documentary.
Yes. Absolutely.
Very good, Simon. Absolutely. So they can get away with murder saying that, can't they?
Yeah.
I do like how if people understand that the concept of a historical drama, and that it is drama, that there are little notes here and there that are based in history that you can kind of go back and learn more about, like the painting of Churchill, and that's I forgot the artist's name, Sutherland.
That
if you go back and look at that painting, that it was burned, and it was very whoever in the production repainted Lithgow in that style of the actual painting. And I actually was able to kind of look back and found the newsreel of when they presented that painting to Churchill, which was just very interesting. But it is it's a drama. There is a lot of liberties being taken to make this a fun little binge-worthy show.
And what's interesting is that just to give a little bit on props to John Lithgow, he's actually not only played Churchill, he's also played FDR. I'm just waiting for him to play Mussolini. He's got World War II all covered right now. he's got the trifecta going there. And our friend Ted Davies, and I'm actually going to be on his show later on. Ted, if you can do me a favor, type in the link when you get a chance there. Ted says, Ian loved you in Doc Martin. How did you get that role? And
you know what? It was so funny because I have this rule of thumb, right? So when you go out for an audition for something, if it's something that I really want to get, and if it's something that I thought, this would be terrific, or it's something like a big series or something like that, I'll actually learn the script, right? So if I go for the interview, I'll learn the script so I can do a better job of it. So I went to Doc Martin, and they said, it's a couple of scenes in this thing playing a plumber. I went, oh God. So I turned up. I didn't learn it right. Okay. So I went in there and I did the first few speeches, and then the director said, could you read something from another episode? And I went, what? And of course it turned out to be this series. And I went, Sugar Ray Robinson. I should have learned this, because I thought, goodness me, that I'd stand a better chance of trying to get it. If it's a series, it's going to be, a few months' work as opposed to like a couple of days. So anyway, I did the interview, and then, goodness me, that night they made the offer. So, I didn't even matter that I didn't learn it. I got it straight away, so I was thrilled. And when we did the first series, we had no idea how it was going to work out, whether it was going to go on and make another series. So we all ended up saying goodbye and everything. And you know what? That was in 2007, and now look at us.
I know.
We're just we were going to do in April of 21, we were going to do series 10, which will be the final series probably of Doc Martin. But it looks likely now, it's not written in stone, but it looks like it's been pushed now to 22 because of COVID. So we'll have to see. We don't know for certain, but it looks likely that we'll do the final series 10 in 2022.
Because if I'm not mistaken, when you guys film Doc Martin, you're staying in that island, right?
We do. I mean, what happens is it's a lovely little village, and Simon's been down there. He came down to visit me, and we had tea together. Nice cream tea, didn't we, Simon?
We did indeed.
And you had a nice cream afterwards down by the seaside and everything. It was a lovely day. And but no, we literally go and live in the village for 4 months of the year while we make the show. I mean, absolutely, we're all down there, so we can be used at any point. So I've been lucky enough to have the same house. Every time we've gone down there, we do it every other year, so it'll give chances to Martin Clunes to go off and make his sort of island shows or his shows about animals or stuff like that. So we do it every other year, and so but I mean, I used to run a bed and breakfast for all my friends and family. They all come down and wanted to be by the seaside. We used to wake up in the morning, 2 eggs with some bacon. Is that what you want? And my kids all used to learn to surf down there. There's surfing and everything. It was just fantastic.
If you ever decide to quit this thing and go to a bed and breakfast, I want to be the first person at your bed and breakfast. Speaking of bed and breakfast, we got to pay some bills. Again, folks, if you haven't had a chance, you can get Ian or Simon to do a cameo for you. There's the link that's there for those of you watching. Cameo.com, Ian McNeice. You can also pull up Simon. It's his birthday. So have him say have him say happy birthday for his birthday there. But speaking of which, we've got to pay the bills. When we return, we're going to continue our discussion with Ian McNeice, Mr. Winston Churchill himself from Doctor Who. When we continue, become part of the legend.
Hi, I'm Claudia Christian with some exciting updates in the Sinclair Method world. First of all, we launched our new coaching page. It's yoursinclairmethod.com, so you can go there and book a session with one of our fabulous coaches. You can also reach that page by visiting c3foundation.org. It's at the top of the landing page of the website. The second piece of news is Journeys is out. Woohoo! This book has been a long time in the making, and it is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local bookstore, and there's a limited amount of signed copies at c3foundation.org. So get your copy of Journeys now and visit the coaching page for some wonderful support. If you're on the Sinclair Method, you can book a session with a variety of different coaches. Take care and be well.
Author Cindy Kepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Alien invaders enslave Earth,
unleashing hunters into the ruin wastes.
One young survivor struggles to elude their monsters, clinging to hope.
When he's stolen off the planet by a sarcastic starship AI, they pit their uneasy alliance against a treacherous galaxy.
Explore a whole new verse of barbarism and betrayal.
Wonder and adventure.
In the Scion series
by Michael J. Allen.
Beginning with Book 1, Scion Conquered Earth.
Available in print, ebook, and audio on Amazon.com.
Experience Samara's adventure as she imagines the people around her change into friendly cartoon animals right before her eyes. Journey with her in this poetic tale, My Cartoon Imagination at School.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling Tardis. My name is Christian Basil, and I love this picture. Ian, this has been a long time ago. I just remember you had the cigar. And a friend of mine, I actually think you had extra cigars. He said, don't put it in your mouth. You don't put it in your mouth. And now I know why they were the
Got it back on.
What's that?
Sorry?
No. I was just explaining the picture that we're showing right here.
Okay, yeah. I remember actually we left there. That was in Florida, wasn't it? Yeah. And I think Simon and I then left there and went on a Doctor Who cruise, didn't we, Simon?
Oh, we did, most certainly.
That was fantastic, wasn't it? I mean, can you believe it? We went on this Doctor Who cruise around the Caribbean, for goodness sake. How fantastic is that? We went, it was a boat that took about 3,000 people, but there were like 90 sort of Doctor Who fans on the show. And there were like 4 or 5 of us who were Doctor Who people, and we used to have dinner with them in the evenings and chat to them, and then little coffee mornings, and we'd say hello to them and all the rest of it. It was a pretty fantastic trip. Yes, Simon?
Absolutely. I think we need to give a little hello and thank you very much to Dan Harris, who organises it all. And of course, with COVID, it's all gone a bit of a hiccup.
But I do think there's going to be another one in 2022.
Yes, I think
he's planning another Caribbean cruise then.
Yeah, April 22, I think it is. But
I think you're on the list. I think you're I think you're going to be welcomed aboard, Simon.
Well, it would. I think we'll all be on the list, subject to availability.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. I mean, Ian mentioned earlier that age discrimination is kicking in over this side of the pond. So those over 70, it's come to light, actors will have difficulty being insured for productions. But I could also tell you, in my time, I've had discrimination in the sense that people think because I'm large, I'm going to drop dead any minute. And so I've been asked to pay the premiums for the insurance for a production. I never have, because I've told them to think again.
Yeah. To think again is a good phrase, isn't it?
Yes, it's to think again. So, but it does happen, and it is quite extraordinary that I don't know what it's like in the States, but over here we have the Equalities Act. And one of these is you can't not employ someone because of their age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So somebody 95 can apply for a job, and as long as they've got a certificate to say that they're fit and healthy to do it, you can employment. And but there we go. I personally think it's all just knee-jerk reaction to what's going on without people thinking sensibly and thinking things through. But any work for any actors at this time is welcome. So I don't want to poo-poo the idea so that productions are not made. But at the same time, Ian will probably identify with this. For a lot of time, actors have been told they don't do a proper job, that they can be quite lazy. Or on the other side of the coin, if they have had some success, people think, well, why should they earn that sort of money for only being on screen for 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
They really don't understand the process.
They don't understand the process.
It's 5 minutes on the screen, but that could have been 5 days of work going on for.
It is difficult
and
for
all the preparation that you have beforehand before you go in and stuff.
Yeah, and it's difficult for actors to get work anyway, right? Anyway, it's difficult. So then to start putting up legislation that sort of implies that if you're over a certain age or over a certain weight, that you shouldn't be considered, it just limits again the limited amount of work that there is. But anyway,
unfortunately,
I shall step down from my soapbox.
No, because honestly, it's an unfortunate reality that there's a lot of people out there who have strong opinions about what other professions that are not their own, what money they should be compensated for. whether it's an actor, if it's somebody who works in fast food, or if it works for any other profession that's not their own.
Well, for the little bit that we can do for you guys, here it is. Melanie was kind enough to get both links out there. So
look at that. I'm so impressed with what you put on the screen. That's fantastic.
Cameo.com.
We're going to have to pay him later on. You know that, Simon.
Yes, yes.
You guys are on here. That's payment enough. So thank you so much. Guys. So Cameo.com.
You mean we're not getting paid for this? Simon, we're off. You and I
guys, the check's in the mail later.
absolutely, checks in the mail.
And Fisher-Becker, the number one, Cameo.com for either one of them. But please, if you would like to get something from them, I believe, both of you have private chat, right? If I'm not mistaken. Okay, so if you just even want to send a message to them, send a message to Simon.
If you would like to pay Simon to tell him happy birthday, that would be very good. It's a present and being able to have that personal greeting.
Goodness me. I'm going to have to do a cameo for you, Simon, tomorrow.
Get Simon to do a cameo for Simon.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
For Ian.
Yes, we both agree on that.
I just pay myself to sing happy birthday to me.
But also, if people are private messaging me, I've got 2 books that you can buy.
I don't believe this. You were meant to be on the panel tonight. It's about me. This show's about me, Simon, not about you.
No. I'm just reminding you.
For goodness sake, it's about me. It's my show. You're on the panel. Get back and get out. Unbelievable.
I'm done.
Can I just ask you what are your books called, Simon?
My Dalek has a puncture, and my Dalek has another puncture, and we can arrange to post you signed copies.
Yes.
And if you're joining us, we're interviewing actor Ian McNeice, even though
there you go. All fixed.
Yeah.
Simon.
Simon,
can you bear it?
Plugs, so might as well go for it.
I do have to say that I do appear in the book, so it might be worth buying it just for that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. There you go. One of the things I loved about Doc Martin was your relationship, and I apologize if I butcher his name. It's Joe Absalom.
Say that again.
Joe Absalom, the guy who plays Al Large, your son. It's one of my favorite story arcs that are going through there. Now, unfortunately, the PBS channel here in Orlando, I haven't caught up with it yet, but they were playing Doc Martin out of sync. So I was actually watching Series 3 and then Series 5. Then all of a sudden, Doc Martin had a baby, and then he didn't. And broke up, and then he didn't. So
that must be so confusing. I mean, how on earth they do that? I mean, that's crazy.
And then they said, well, if you want to get it, you can purchase it yourself. And just put it in order so I can actually watch it.
No, I mean, Joe Absalom is very special. I actually tell my own children that Joe Absalom is the son I always wanted.
Oh, God.
And that goes down so well with them, I have to say, which is, but it's quite true. I mean, since day one with Joe, I mean, we just hit it off straight away. Mm-hmm. We have this chemistry now. We have a shorthand, and he actually lives down there now. He moved lock, stock, and barrel. He actually moved his family from London to Cornwall. He lives about 15 minutes outside of Port Isaac, where we make the show. He moved down there specifically so his children, who were quite young, could get a better lifestyle. Mm-hmm. They go to the local schools, which are really good, but they can also go on the beach in the summer, after school and stuff like that. So, and he loves it down there. So, no, that's really nice. And so, but I spend quite a lot of time on the phone, asking him how he is when we're not working together. We become very close. He calls me Pops. He's my second father now, Pops. So very, very special.
So, I guess you're just taking James Langstar friend who said Simon has the very best laugh. That is absolutely true there. Simon.
It gets me in a lot of trouble.
There you go there. And for those of you, Melanie had to leave. I do apologize if you're watching live on the YouTube channel or the Facebook page or on Twitch. Go later on after the show, go to fanexpo.com. You can see Melanie and our Jessica Womack from Swan Song Cosplay on Instagram. They are making some very festive Thanksgiving geekery items, and you'll check it out, and it'll probably make you hungry.
Sounds great.
It does sound great. So after this, we can actually all go over there and watch them there. So Ian, as far as television, stage, and movies, where do you see your preference? Where, if you had a choice to say, I'd rather, if somebody offered you one of those three, what would you like to perform? Where do you feel?
You know, I mean, I've been extremely lucky. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, when I first started out, I thought, am I ever going to do a play from play to play in a theater somewhere? So to have actually sort of traveled the life that I've had in terms of starting with theater. I did a lot of regional theater in my early days, and then Royal Shakespeare Company with Nicholas Nickleby on Broadway that we took there for 3 or 4 months, which was fantastic. And then starting to go into television and then moving into film. So it's been a really sort of steady career rise. And to have managed to do all those sort of things and to work in America too. I spent 10 years in Los Angeles making television and films over there. So it's been hugely, I mean, absolutely joy to have had those opportunities, and, you know, to play parts like the plumber in Doc Martin, or to play a Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, to play Baron Harkonnen in Dune or something like that, or Ace Ventura with Jim Carrey. I mean, that was extraordinary because Jim, I mean, most people, those big shows, they take so long to do all the lighting. So it can take about 2 or 3 hours to do a lighting setup once you finish one job. So most of us retire to our little trailers and have a cup of coffee or just read a book or something. Jim, stays on the set and entertains the troops. He entertains all the technicians while they're working. He'll do stand-up, he'll do songs, he'll do funny walks, to do just cracking them all up as they work. I mean, he's phenomenal because he never stops. It's absolutely amazing. And as regards the script, you can forget it. I mean, the script that I learned had no comparison to what we did because he improvises. Every day he's chucking in new ideas and new things and new bits of dialogue. And so I was desperate, thinking, well, when's he finished? I don't want to trample on his lines. And so I'd wait and think, shall I come in now at this point? And eventually I did. And that was it. So I mean, he was a real tour de force and a joy. Absolutely. When we did the movie, he actually achieved that extraordinary thing of being, his next movie was Cable Guy. And he was the first person to be paid $20 million for a movie. And I asked him one morning, I said, Jim, what is it like to be paid $20 million for a film? He said, you know what it's like getting a golden birthday cake every day of your life. And that was it, extraordinary. I mean, because and then everybody else, right, you know, Harrison Ford and everybody else got 20 million, and all our salaries went way down because I had to find money to pay them all so much more money because of Jim Carrey. Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much.
Maybe I won't claim him as Canada.
He's Canadian, isn't he?
He is, yes.
He's Canadian, that's right.
So that 20 million was like 35 million.
Exactly. Did you see, I have to say, I mean, did you see his Biden that he did on YouTube, on Saturday Night Live?
No, I have not yet.
Oh my God, that was the most extraordinary thing of Alec Baldwin doing Trump and his Biden when they did the sort of, you know, they did that little, you know, the question and answer together. He was really clever, very good Biden.
All I want to see out of those two come January is the very beginning, the Trump tweet that said, "You'll never hear from me again if I lose this election," with Alec Baldwin doing that tweet, and then every scene popping up like in a window as Trump. And it's like that. Every scene for the whole hour.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it? Absolutely.
That's all I want from that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, well, speaking of which, we're going to our final break. When we return, we're going to wrap up our conversation with actor Ian McNeice. When we return, thank you for staying logged on, tune in, and I will fix the shower curtain that somebody has just mentioned that I forgot to put up when we return. Tuned in. I'm a little embarrassed when we return.
What did you forget to do?
You'll see when he comes back, Ian.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. I'll be right back.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
This is the Legend of the Traveling Tardis. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final segment here with our interview with actor Ian McNeice. If you want to get your chats in right away, go ahead and type in. If you're on the Facebook page, on the YouTube now, go ahead and type your questions away there. Coming up in the next 2 days, we just want to wish everyone, for those of us celebrating here in the States, a very safe and happy Thanksgiving out there for all of you that's taking place this coming Thursday. Of course, everybody's got it because everybody's got the time off or whatever you're doing. But we want everybody here in the States who are celebrating, or anybody who's celebrating Thanksgiving at all, please stay safe out there with your families. Do what you need to do, social distance, whatever, because we want to see all of you Whovians again around Christmas time and in the new coming year. We are going to be returning in mid-January to our first brick and mortar convention, Central Florida Comic-Con. All the information out there. Will be on our Facebook page, so keep an eye on that. The events page is up there. We will be social distancing. They're not going to have as many vendors. They're going to be masks are going to be required, but we're going to follow all the directions that the convention is going to have, and then some. And I was jokingly, Simon, saying, you know about you guys have had your pictures with the TARDIS, right? This, before everything went down, it's going to be what we had just to even touch the TARDIS.
Oh, okay. My goodness me. There you go.
We had a whole, you won't believe this, Ian. We actually had a sign where you actually, just to touch that piece of metal, you actually had to sanitize your hand, wear your mask, hold the TARDIS, make sure it's not anywhere near your face, put the TARDIS down, so we had to wipe it, and then you had to sanitize your hands. That's how strict we were just for that piece of metal at the conventions. But we want to make sure everybody who wanted their picture with it stayed safe, because we wanted everybody to continue to be a part of the legend.
It's so funny you saying all this stuff about your dates coming up in a few days, about what you got coming, which is Thanksgiving. Simon and I spent some very happy Thanksgivings in Chicago, didn't we, Simon?
We did.
At the Chicago TARDIS convention. I remember being right there, not only there, but then Black Friday would hit us while we were there, and all the people would vanish, go off and do, try and buy all sorts of, and all the English actors would vanish and buy all their clothes from, Target just down the road. I remember that. That was hysterical.
It was extraordinary. It shows how long I've been on the circuit now. celebrated my 50th birthday at Chicago.
Chicago TARDIS. Goodness me.
Yeah, because it's always this time of the year. It's always the Thanksgiving.
It's bang now. I don't know whether. I mean, I'm sure there's not one going on now. Is there or not?
Yeah, there is. I think it's
virtual.
Yes, but it's going to be virtual.
Oh, it'll be virtual. Of course. Yeah.
A lot of the conventions that we are actually participating in this year, and ones that we hadn't even thought about doing because we just never got a chance or whatever, like Dragon Con. We've never been to Dragon Con. We've always wanted to go, and always something came up. And then this year, they needed help with virtual online, and they asked us if we could help do Doctor Who panels and a Red Dwarf panel, and we did.
Fantastic. So you're doing those for Dragon?
We already did them. We already did them.
That's fantastic.
I think something, and I'm not exaggerating, maybe between 20 and 25 online panels within the year.
What's going on? 7, 6, 5, 4. This is just winding down, and it is. Look at that.
Happy birthday, Simon!
Happy birthday, Simon! And it is.
Happy birthday to me!
Happy birthday!
That is terrific. That's terrific.
Happy birthday, dear Simon!
Happy birthday to me!
Happy birthday, Simon!
Thank you all very much.
Make them to sing birthday for you. At Cameo.com out there. Well, thank you so much, folks. We're wrapping up our show today. Ian, did you have any last minute words that you would like to tell our audience?
Not at all. No, just to say thank you for having me, and everybody who's watching, have a really happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe, absolutely, during this terrible time. Stay safe and wear a mask and sanitize and all those wonderful things we're meant to do, but have a good time. Still, and have a good Thanksgiving wherever you are and whatever you're doing.
Well, let me pose this one last question, because the spirit of Thanksgiving in the United States is to just remember and appreciate what you are thankful for in your life. It would be family, career, job, health. I'll end the show with this question. In your life right now, what are you most thankful of?
I'm thankful that this year, my son has given me the most beautiful granddaughter called Ada May. And he lives in San Francisco, so I haven't been able to see him or my new granddaughter since she was born. She was born in July, I think. And but every day he posts photographs her on WhatsApp, and she's the most beautiful baby. So I'm really grateful for that, I have to say. God bless him. And his beautiful wife, Jenny. So that's Travis and Jenny McNeice. They live in San Francisco, and they've got a lovely little granddaughter called Ada May McNeice. Fantastic.
Congratulations. So I hope you get to see her soon. I really get to see her face to face.
No, I mean it's going to be a while because we can't travel to America just yet. So it'll have to be in the new year now. He was going to come over for Christmas, but that's not going to happen. They're not going to travel with a baby on a plane because that's too dangerous at the moment. So, it'll be a while before we get to see him, maybe even a year. Who knows? But it's grim stuff, I'm afraid. But at least we get the photographs every day.
Gotcha. Well, again, thank you, Ian McNeice, for coming on over here. Ian,
thank you for having me. And thank you, Simon, for being here too. What a great man you are.
It's been a great pleasure. And I am thankful that I've had the opportunity to share the screen with you, my mighty friend.
This is a big finish waiting to happen, Nick Briggs. So let us make this happen. Just make it happen there. Ian, if you could just hold out for just a few moments, I'm going to go ahead and end the show. But folks, for those of you, again, please have a happy and safe Thanksgiving wherever you are, social distancing or doing what you're doing. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Put on sanitizer, because we want you to be safe out there, because we want to see all of you, every one of you in the new year. And we can't wait until things get better so that we can, and all of you, become part of the legend. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. For those of you celebrating, happy holidays for everybody who will be celebrating. We want to thank you for joining us. And, well, that's it. Thanks for joining us. Ian, if you can do me one small favor, if you will, just for the audio, because this is now, we're still recording, but this is now not part of the audio portion. All that has been locked in. But if you can do me a small favor, just say something like, "Hello, this is Ian McNeice, and you're listening to The Legend of the Traveling Tardis." So I can put that on audio for you.
Sure.
Thanks.
Hello, this is Ian McNeice. Some of you know me as Winston Churchill in Doctor Who, but you're listening to The Legend of the Traveling Tardis, and it's wonderful to be here, and I hope you have a lovely time. Bye.
Thank you, Ian. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome to. We do something what we call the after party, which is basically if anybody has any last minute questions or stuff, but I understand it's midnight, and Simon, you have a birthday to do, so if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to, just in case any last minute questions show up. But everybody who also is live with us, if you decide you want to move over and just stick around a little bit longer, and I might be joining them very shortly. Jessica and Melanie are at Fan Expo right now doing their little cook-off for them for their Thanksgiving Day special with Geekdom theme. So you can check them out there. So
I just want to ask you something about one of the commercials that came up. There was a lady that was talking about Sinclair or something, some coaching. What sort of coaching is that about? What's
from what I understand, and I don't, that is, I can't think of her name.
Claudia Christensen.
Claudia Christensen. She's actually the actress from Babylon 5. And
okay.
I'm trying to do this from memory, so I apologize if I get this wrong. She was considered openly an alcoholic. Or if I'm not mistaken, she had some kind of substance abuse, and she went in and did the Sinclair method, and it helped her out a great deal. So if anybody wants to try it, she's one of our sponsors for the Sinclair method.
So is that what her book's all about, is it?
Yes, I believe so. Well, at least the book that I have, that's a good question. I know she does the Sinclair method. I've actually not read the book. I feel bad. She's a sponsor, but I have not read her book as of yet. But I didn't get a copy, so it's all right. I haven't had a chance there.
The coaching business, that wasn't to do with theatrical coaching. It was some other coaching, was it?
Correct. Not theatrical coaching. In fact, give me a second there. I can.
It is, medication for alcoholism.
Okay,
and
absolutely. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Techniques and such, yeah.
Yep.
That was what she was conveying, and she wants to help people who are trying to get out of that scenario, and it's highly.
So how many people do tune into this show?
On average, it really depends right now, but on average, in this show, in a week, we because we'll record live, but the video will stay on the Facebook page, and people will catch up. On an average week, we pull in about between 2,500 to 5,000 people, and we
goodness me, really?
And that's
which is a very small amount compared to how many people follow us on Facebook.
How many people follow you on Facebook?
Well, somewhere over 41,000 right now. Yeah.
Oh my goodness me! 41,000 follow you on Facebook.
So if you want to tell your friends to subscribe, please do, folks. So, yeah,
that's incredible.
I think we can safely say we are the largest, at least on Facebook, the largest following of Doctor Who podcast that we have out there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Did you know they had that many people, Simon?
Sorry?
He was nearly asleep, quite frankly, the poor old
No. I do apologize. I had to respond to something from my aunt.
He's getting,
you were texting, were you, darling? You were texting.
Yeah, I do apologize. Sorry, remind me, what were you asking?
I was saying, isn't it amazing that they have 41,000 followers on Facebook?
I think it is extraordinary, and considering, when you first started, you only had a few hundred.
Yeah.
So it's well worth supporting. It's a great show, to be honest.
But mind you, you're pretty up there too. I mean, how many followers do you have on Facebook, Simon?
Well, I now have two pages. On one page, I've got 4,500, and on another page, I've got 2,500.
That's incredible.
And then on Twitter, I've got something like 8,000, I think.
Which I think really the 41,000 follow Simon around, and then the remaining 526 follow us around.
I know.
So I could tomorrow have 41,000 people wanting cameos. Yes.
Well, I was going to say after each of these shows, and I know I absolutely wickedly promoted my books, but I can tell you this week I will get at least 5 sales out of it.
You good man, you good man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So in that way, that's my fee.
I'll tell you what, Ian. As a gift to you, I will put both you and Simon's link to your cameos on our page.
Oh, that's great.
So
thank you
very much.
Give you some holiday and boost. So everybody who's here.
Oh, could you also tell them to, if you're going to do that, could you say come and join the Burt Large Lovers group on Facebook as well?
Hang on a second.
It's called the Burt Large Lovers group. It's my fan club of ladies, mainly ladies of a certain age.
So would it be odd if I went in there and liked the page?
I think that, unfortunately, not quite as many as 41,000. I think I might add 3,000 or something like that.
I'm joining.
Put that on. Burt Large Lovers group. Come and join the Burt Large Lovers group.
Let me do that. And I believe I have the link. And it's got a picture of you as Burt Large in a green. I just want to make sure, because sometimes there's many other pages out there that kind of run across, but I did find the group link. So let me go ahead and post that here.
That's
so all of
great.
you right now that are watching, here it is. This is the Burt Large Facebook page.
Burt Large Lovers group.
Burt Large Lovers group. And that is the groups right there. Or if you're listening to the radio show and can't copy the link, just go type in Burt Large Lovers group. Right now, 3,200 people, and make that 3,201. I just joined up. So I'm sorry if I'm not the type of person you were attracting, but there you go. I've got it.
Listen, you're exactly the sort of person. Those ladies would love you. They love all people of a certain age and a certain sort of certain weightiness, should we say?
Certain healthiness.
Yes, absolutely.
I had a surprise for you, gentlemen, that it just didn't go through, but at the last minute, I understand why she couldn't do it. We were scheduled to have Annette Badland join in the panel, and unfortunately, she had a recording this morning, so she was unable to join us. But if it arises again, we will be inviting her to bring you on. She's been one of our guests before, as Simon has, and quite a few other people. But Annette wanted to join in. She wanted me to let you know she would have been here in a heartbeat.
Oh, how nice.
So, all right. Well, I want to thank all of you for joining us. We're going to wrap it up because I'm being asked to go do the cooking group, even though they're
okay.
So
we shall say goodbye to you.
I'm not cooking anything, but Heather and the team wanted me to join the group there. Ian, thank you so much. And
it's a pleasure.
I'll go ahead and end the broadcast now. I just want a few moments before we leave. But for those of you, again, who are joining us, thank you very much for joining us. We will have an episode next week. I believe, and this is a discussion, and I haven't told Dave yet, because I feel real bad about what happened, but Dave understands and knows. But this will be the first time you and Melanie will run the show because I have to leave for family.
Oh.
So you two will be running the Traveling TARDIS, so don't let me down.
No pressure, no pressure. I did it for Dr. Squee. I was you for Dr. Squee.
There you go. So, no, you're fine. I'm like, but she was going like, how do I do the commercials and stuff like that? I'm just like, I'll walk you through it. So,
yeah, no, this is easy.
So far for the premiere for next week's show, it's going to be Melanie and Dave and any of the panelists who would like to join him talking about. What did you have in mind there, Dave? I'll give you the.
More tabletop gaming. Right here, I've got all my Christmas games up where I normally would have Doctor Who games. They're hiding behind there. But I'll probably grab a couple of Doctor Who games, show them off. Yeah, that just totally just crashed behind me. But I've got, there's usually a big orange box back here, keys to the TARDIS. I'll probably kind of walk through that. I'll walk through a couple of different games that people have had questions about. Doctor Who Flux. and go from there. Just kind of have a good time.
Gotcha. And always, of course, subscribe over to the rathole.ca. That's Canada for us.
Yes, .ca.
And
I've got all the Christmas games. Is the rathole.ca/Christmas. I've set up a specific page for all of the we do Christmas series every year of just holiday games. So check that out.
Ian, keep you for a moment there, and everybody.
Take care.
Just hang on one second. Anyway,
Okay.
we're gonna end the live broadcast, and folks, please stay safe. Stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend. Thanks for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays.